The MAGA movement is the singular most unchristian organization in this country. They drape themselves in false piety, false victimhood, and feigned outrage when the left exposes their religious hypocrisy. Yesterday, two of MAGA world's most notorious brown-nosers, J.D. Vance and CNN regular Scott Jennings, raised their umbrage at Jen Psaki, taking a wrecking ball to their thoughts and prayers response to every mass shooting. Now, the left has been attacking the thoughts and prayers crowd for their complete and utter hypocrisy for years now, but the right keeps pulling it out because it works. Well, it's not working anymore. It's clear to everyone that thoughts and prayers means do nothing about guns, no control on access, no controls on gun types, and no controls on ownership. And yet, the right still hides behind it. Yesterday, though, was a dramatic refutation of the famous talking point cloaked in piety. First, it was the mayor of Minneapolis pointing out that the children who were murdered were praying at the time.
Don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church.
Then it was Jen Psaki laying into the thoughts and prayers crowd with clinical precision.
And I have felt a mixture of anger and a lot of anger and emotional exhaustion about this today, as I'm sure many of you have, because we have been here so many times. And yet again, like clockwork, half of the politicians in our country have little more to offer than thoughts and prayers. That is all they are offering. Join all of us in praying for the victims, was Vice President J.D. Vance's response today. That's what he said. That's it. Please join me in praying for everyone involved, Trump wrote. We have seen this play out over and over again. There is a shooting, then come the thoughts and prayers, and then comes the attempt to shift the focus. This is what always happens.
And there's nothing the right hates more than having their little memes exposed. So today, they need to counter such devastating critiques, and they drew on their false piety and their false victimhood to go on the attack. Both J.D. Vance and Scott Jennings professed their moral outrage that the left is attacking prayer. Vance went out on social media with his smug, let me condescend with theology way that only Vance can muster, and wrote, "We pray because our hearts are broken. We pray because we know God listens. We pray because we know that God works in mysterious ways and can inspire us to further action." Well, okay, JD, but that's just the point, isn't it? You and your right-wing gun nuts push prayer as a means of preventing action. And no one is criticizing prayer. They're criticizing right-wing politicians and pundits for doing the NRA's bidding and then hiding and deflecting with prayer instead of enacting laws that will prevent these mass shootings from happening again. But Vance was not done, writing further, "Why do you feel the need to attack other people for praying when kids were just killed praying?" JD and his team must be so proud of that clever little turn of phrase to get them out of the mess the thoughts and prayers talking point was making. The fact that these children were praying when they were killed and injured is a cudgel against this tired deflection tactic of the right and the NRA. And again, no one on the left is attacking anyone for praying. The attack is aimed at using prayer as an excuse for doing nothing. And the attack is hitting home, which is why Scott Jennings used it as an excuse on CNN to pontificate, deflect, and claim the high ground of moral superiority. Watch this disgusting performance.
I had a negative reaction to the mayor's statements today. I think it's wrong, frankly, to vilify or attack people of faith. You said thoughts and prayers ring hollow. I think thoughts and prayers are the most solid on days of tragedy for people who live their faith every day.
So how on earth does Jennings get to criticize the mayor for being wrong-headed in demanding gun control? Oh, simple. He has children this age too, so it hits him harder than anyone. Jennings just performed a rhetorical maneuver to take the moral high ground away from people, and then went on to suggest that wanting action is morally outrageous behavior because it abandons prayer.
And I think on a day like today, particularly in a church community, there are probably people praying harder for comfort today than they have ever prayed in their life. And so I think, and I've heard others on the left today go down this line of attack against people of faith, sort of denigrating the idea that they might want to pray today.
Yeah, that's what we call the false or binary opposition, Scott. Nice try, but we're not buying it. As if praying and then taking action were somehow outside the bounds of Christian proper moral behavior. What all this proves, however, is that the left has to push even harder. Thoughts and prayers is crumbling, and these two responses prove it. We have to push even harder for the kinds of laws we need, and at the same time, we need to push back with our own religious leaders. It is time for the left to stop ceding the religious high ground. After all, Jesus was a leftist. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.